guys are so, you're applauding so big, you're bursting my eardrum. Can you just turn down that? Okay. You guys are amazing. I'm not kidding. It's like so loud. All right. I'm going to tell you a story, and everything is true. Okay, sit down. All right. So every single word is true. Okay, so in the 1960s, Cindy and I were very famous. Yes. And then our career took a nosedive, and we had no money, we had no job, and we owed the government $278,000. Like you do. And so Son said, you're going to put on a dress, and I'm going to put on a tux, and we're going to play dinner theaters. And I thought, okay, that sounds good. Velvet ropes and limousines, and you know, that's good. And then ours weren't. Ours were kind of like if strippers and hookers went to a bowling alley. And I'm not kidding. The first place we played was Windsor, Ontario, the Elmwood Casino. You guys aren't from there. Okay, so anyway, all right. So we played 2 shows a night and 7 nights a week. And the first show wasn't really that bad because the people were eating, so they would be like, eating, they suck, eating. But then the midnight show, when the 4 people showed up, was terrible. And I always thought, I don't know why, I always thought that the drunker they got, the more talented we would seem. But they hated us, so it didn't work. All right, so one night I got pissed off and I just turned my back on the audience and I started making the band laugh, and Sonny thought that was hysterical. And so we started making each other laugh, and then, I don't know if you saw Sonny and Cher show. Okay, so those monologues kind of came from those dive burlesque hooker stripper bowling alleys. So, alright, so when Son and I split up, I started to do that myself. I would make up my own, and some were really good. But then, all of a sudden, I just didn't think of anything, so I came up with another idea. And I thought that I would tell people about the 2 nights it took me to turn 40. By Cher. Okay, so, and it's true. Alright, so it was the night before my birthday, it was the 19th of May, and I was at my favorite club in New York, Heartbreak, and I was with my best friend, Polly, and I always say, Polly, say something. Polly, are you out there? Oh, she never says anything. Alright, so we were sitting on these leather banquettes, they were red, and they were, you know, the kind that's got the table in the center, and then they're puffy, and then there's a high part that's puffy. So we were sitting on the high part that was puffy, kind of hookery, like this. And I say it every time. So anyway, but it was great, and my dress was up to here, my shirt was down to there, and all I kept thinking was, oh my God, you're 40 and you're still so hot. I was very superficial, 40. Okay, so I was about to make a movie with Nicky Cage Moonstruck. But Nicky was 21, and I was better looking than he was at the time. So Polly and I were having a great time, and I just was so excited. You know, I was just looking around, and I was having a good time, and I was 40, and nothing bad had happened. And then I'm looking, and I'm thinking, whoa, And I go, Paul, everyone's gonna understand this. I go, Polly, don't look now, but don't look now. Polly, don't look now, but over my right shoulder is the cutest guy I've ever seen. And Paul gets off the banquette and goes, where? Where is he? Oh, is that him? Yeah. So when she came back, I hit her. And I made a bruise in her arm, and I was happy. Okay, so his name was Robert Camilletti, and that's another story. Okay. So all my night long we flirted, but nothing happened. So I just got bored and I went home. And I was staying at my friend's hotel. He was a lovely friend, and he had just gotten out of jail is the short one, prison is the long one. Prison. He had just gotten out of prison for tax evasion, like you do. And he was letting me stay there, and he was wonderful. He owned Studio 54, and he just was a great guy. And so I went to sleep dreaming fabulous dreams of being 40. And then in the morning, my telephone rang, and I said hello, and the man said hello. And now, I'm going to ask you to not applaud or do anything when I tell you this thing before, and you can then boo after. All right, so his name was George Miller, and he was the director of Witches of Eastwick. Zip it. And he said, okay, I just wanted to say that I don't want you in my movie, and Jack and I, Nicholson, we don't think you're sexy and you're too old. So it was like, good morning, 40. And tears just started streaming down my cheeks. I didn't want him to know, so it was just like, this is not happening. I cannot believe this is the thing I want most in the world, and tears, tears, tears. And usually in Hollywood, when people insult you, they hang up. But George was from Australia, so he just kept going on and on and on and on. And really, it was like, are you crazy? I don't like your laugh, I don't like the way you walk, I don't like the way you talk, I don't like your hair, I don't like anything about you. And at that point I was like, okay, motherfucker. I actually said that to him. And I said, you know what, you didn't find me under a rock. I got a nomination for Silkwood, I won the Cannes Film Festival Award for Best Actress in Mask. So, click. But anyway, the tears were still rolling, and I was still heartbroken, and I was sobbing, and then all of a sudden I thought, my God, these tears are footprints. These are the kind of tears an actress prays for when she's doing a really sad scene, and just rolling down your cheeks. You don't have to make a squinchy face. They just are beautiful. And then I thought, as a matter of fact, I kind of look like Madonna. Not the one with the blonde hair. So anyway, and then I thought, you're crazy. You lost your job and you're thinking about tears. Okay, so that a moment that just happened after that was my kids came in with a Bellman, big cake, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to your mom, happy birthday to you, and came in and looked at me and said, Mom, you're crying. And I went, because when you're older and you're a lady and you're very, very happy, sometimes you just cry from happiness. And they said, oh. And I said, all right, go along and we'll have the cake later. So, I forgot something. I kind of go over here when I do that. So I was staying in my friend's hotel, but I owed him $28,000 and I didn't have it. All right, now I forgot to go here. This is the bad place. So, all right, you're gonna have to trust me again. It's gonna sound crazy, but I promise you. It's gonna sound really crazy. All right, so since the David Letterman show had started, they had wanted me to be a guest, and I never wanted to be. Okay, now I can go back to the good place. So 3 days before my birthday, they called me, and they said, how would you like to spend your birthday with Dave? And I said, I would love to, for $28,000. And they said, we don't do that. And I said, well, then neither do I. So they called me back, the producer actually called me back in about 20 minutes. He said, okay. And I was like, chee-chee. But while we were on the telephone, he said, you know, Cher, just tell me, why haven't you ever wanted to do it? And I said, well, Dave is very smart and he's very funny, but if someone comes on the show that he doesn't like or he thinks low caliber, he can be kind of an asshole. And the producer agreed with me and we hung up. So the night of my birthday, I got there and he was sitting here and I was sitting here and he was being funny and I was being funny and he was being funny and I was being funnier. And he said to me at some point, so tell me, Cher, why haven't you ever wanted to be on my show? And my head exploded because you couldn't say that word in 1980, whatever it was. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't say it, but I can't lie because then the interview will be rotten and I would, and while I'm thinking all this and thinking all this, out of my mouth comes because I thought you were an asshole. You can YouTube it. So he said he was traumatized for 5 years and I can believe it. So, but we patched it up, we became friends. As a matter of fact, last year he sent me a beautiful card, kind of old lady-ish, you know, with the satin flowers and whatever, but it was the thought that covered. And he wrote me like a beautiful little note in script, and, okay.
That's a good place.
Script is a thing we used to do. It's curly. And you're never gonna use it. Okay. So, but at the bottom of this beautiful card, there was a PS, and it said, P.S. My mom always liked Sunny better. Yeah, I think he's harboring. So anyway, that was then, I was 40, and this is now, and I'm not. And, decide whether or not I'm going to tell my age, because it's so ridiculous, because I tell my age and then everyone starts to applaud and I don't know if it's just because I'm still alive or I'm still on stage or I don't know what it is, but I'm 72. Alright, so before we start this little extravaganza, I just have one thing to say, and that is, what is your granny doing tonight?